All right, welcome back to First and Mad. This is Brad Michaels, and we are live right here tonight at Mad Maddie's Casino Bar and Grill in Las Vegas, 8100 West Sahara Avenue. And unfortunately, it's not going well for my Dolphins tonight, 24-10. I'm going to turn it over to the guys. Hey, guys, it's Jesse, and it is Floody. How you guys doing tonight?
What's going on?
In my house, brother, we're doing a lot better than your dollfish right now.
Oh, God. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go.
Come on.
He's been going at it, baby.
So, you know what? Before we get into this, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, it's going to be the Tyreek Hill thing. We've talked about this before the show. Jesse, Jay, two things. Number one, I want you to tell me about Brazil. That game in Brazil.
The Brazil game, was interesting to find out because there was a lot of people complaining about the field. And I get it. I understand it. But that's kind of the situation you put yourself in when you go play football in a different country. It's a soccer field.
It is a soccer field, and they were like trying to make adjustments with cleats. But wouldn't you know that before that? You've had a couple of little practices. You're out in there before the game even starts. Yeah. And if you don't have traction with your cleats, you're going in, put a longer cleat in.
Exactly. And I thought it was a great game regardless because it was a close one. Yeah. So game-wise, I thought it went well. I thought it was an exciting game to watch. Yeah, the field, you see them slide in the first half. By that second half, when everything started clicking, I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great experience for the fans out there.
It was a real good game and everything else. I didn't hear any casualties, so I don't know what went on. They were clearing out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning out of that stadium.
And I expected to see some possible like riots or something, just because it's a soccer stadium. Yeah. And you had factions from the rival soccer teams that were there, and and they didn't like green.
No, I thought it went well. There was no problems. I thought it went off without a hitch. I thought it was a great experience for the fans. There was a lot of NFL fans from the States out there that took a trip down to Brazil. Yeah, and they said they loved it. Said they had a great experience. So yeah, I thought it was a good effort by the NFL to make that happen.
Well, and what do you think of overall? The NFL is talking about, Roger Goodell has actually said he wants to have like 16 games every year overseas. What do you think of that?
I think that's a little brutal, to be honest with you, especially for the players.
I think it's the NFL looking to see how much more of the almighty dollar they can bring in.
That's all it is.
And then maybe they get paid in euros or yens or wherever else they're at.
We're gonna dabble in everybody else's
currency when they go down to Mexico, folks. It's it's coming around to it. We've talked it over before. The scary and sad part about it is that it's probably going to be, for our lifetimes, we've been seeing free NFL on the local network, and it's going to go to pay-per-view.
It's going to go to pay-per-view.
And if you want to see your Dolphish or the Niners or the one and all Patriots, there you go. I gotta pay for it, and they're gonna just make you all pay for it. And
nobody's paying the pay.
I always say the players get paid too much. It's all about the money with the NFL, and who gets the old donkey pooch right in the ass? The fans. You guys, the fans. We, the fans. You want to see your Dolphish tonight, and it wasn't on this local TV channel. You have to pay for it.
You probably would have. Yeah. Unless you had Peacock.
But tonight's game's on Thursday. It's on Prime, right? Yeah, it's a Prime.
And our bar business and the businesses that are out there that have bars,
you're getting killed by this
dispute. They're going to turn around because they charge you upon occupancy.
Yeah.
And if you got 100 chairs in your bar and your restaurant and everything else, and you want the games.
Yeah, exactly. And Brad talked about it earlier in the week, trying to find out where the game was going to be broadcast, as far as with the Monday night issue
for the Monday night game.
And you literally got to find a place that has the Cox package, because anybody with the DirecTV package, you weren't getting the game.
You had to.
All right. So to get you in on that one, because I worked on Monday night and I was sweating it and everything else, I did have it on ABC.
Okay.
So it was on ABC, but I don't know if you guys.
But that was only through Cox, right?
No, I'm through DirecTV here. And when I went to ESPN, it says quote right on there. Disney is not letting you, pretty much screwing you.
Oh, wow.
So they
it's
gave
right
you
on there.
that
So-
disclaimer where they wanted to try and tell you their side of the story, and okay.
So,
Wow.
but I got lucky because I had it on ABC. So
Oh, that's good. Hey, good. I'm glad.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
So, Jesse, let me ask you a question. Do you want to go ahead and recap last week's scores real quick?
We can hit the
and
highlights,
then-
absolutely.
And then we'll hit the whole Tyreek Hill thing.
We're
And
going back a little bit last week. Can I pick another team to go to the Super Bowl against Detroit?
No.
Come on, that's only 1 week. The Brownies.
You picked the Brownies. You picked the
They
Brownies.
are-
You picked the-
I'm now putting in the 1-0 Patriots.
Oh my dude,
Oh,
dude. I think you should just stick with the
What's
Browns.
in that glass?
I mean, at least we all take the Browns to the Super Bowl every morning. So,
Whoa. Certainly Detroit in the Super Bowl. You heard it first.
I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's do the scores, and then we're going to cover Tyreek Hill, and then I got a special interview with Bob Monica, a friend of mine. He was the former director of equipment manager for the Miami Dolphins from he started with the Dolphins in 80, became the head guy in 84, and he went through the 93 season. So he was with Marino, Shula, the Marx Brothers, the Killer Bees.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
just
been around
it's
there.
a, it's
be
a
able to get him tonight and get his head out of the sand in Miami Beach.
Oh,
Because
Lord.
that's
He's
where you
not
got
in?
all
Oh,
the-
He's not in Miami Beach. I recorded the interview this afternoon. He's not in Miami Beach. He's actually in Houston because he is now the director of equipment for the UFL, which is the merger. I had forgot that they merged because I said
That's a great thing.
XFL
That
when
was a
I
good
interviewed
thing.
him today. I said, "You're in charge of everything for the XFL." He goes, "No, the UFL."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Huh?" And he goes, "Yeah, because it was the USFL and the XFL, and we merged."
You gotta-
Oh my God!
Hey,
It's just-
my God, fish land.
Recapping some of the games. Of course, we talked about it. The Brazil game, the Eagles screeched by the Packers. Jordan Love, of course, getting injured in that game. It was a good game, but the Eagles pulled that one out 34-29. Saints and the Panthers. This one was not much of a game. It looks like Bryce Young's just repeating last year. The Saints take that one big, 47-10.
Carolina doesn't show us nothing.
No.
Well, happens.
The G-Men
Wow.
were a little G this
Wow.
Little G.
week. And the Vikings end up putting the Giants on them 28-6.
Those are ugly uniforms, too, by
That
the
was
way.
awful. That was hideous. That was worse than those.
Bad as their offense,
Oh,
Mr. Jones. And like this one, another interception, Johnny. Do it.
Wow. Tua throws a pick.
Boy, I gotta
six.
go.
Tua just does not look good tonight at all.
Ugly.
Patriots taking the Bengals last week, getting your 1-0 start for the Pats. Getting the 16-10 win over Cincinnati. The Steelers get one. I think TJ Watt single-handedly won that game last week for Pittsburgh.
That Nick kicker.
Yeah, that's a
Six
kicker.
field goals.
That was an
Nice
insane
offense over
yeah,
there.
exactly. That's their offensive scheme right there.
Yeah.
Texans squeaked by the Colts 29-27. Wasn't impressed by Anthony Richardson one bit with that 9 of 19 starts. He had
Good
2
game,
bombs.
though.
Yeah,
Good
good game.
game. I
Good
mean,
defensive battle.
Two are improved teams.
Yeah. The Bills got by the Cardinals after trailing most of that game, pulling it out at the end, 34-28. The Bears.
The
Bears.
Not one
The Bears.
offensive touchdown.
No, not one
And
of
they
them.
put up 24 points.
Well, and of course,
Caleb Williams.
the interview afterwards with the head coach, and he asked him, what could we have done to win better? He said, punt on first down.
Oh, Woody.
That's what we should be doing tonight.
Caleb Williams, a bust.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yep.
think you guys
Yes.
might have been right on that call.
Yep.
Dolphins last week, of course, squeaked by the Jaguars because the Jaguars stopped playing in the second half. They beat them out
Dolphins still
20-17.
back there last week.
Yeah.
Scored 31-10 right
The abysmal game of the Seahawks and Broncos of who could play worse, and the
Oh.
Seahawks pulled that one out
now.
26-20.
Who did the Patriots got this week?
What the Pats got this week?
Seahawks.
Got the feed chickens. Chargers, Raiders go at it. Las Vegas looked a little dismal on offense,
They did.
not really putting it together. They lose 22-10.
Solid.
Their run game looked really good.
Yeah,
J.K. Dobbins looks like he could
defense
be
looked
back.
Solid too.
Cowboys put the hammer down on the Browns,
Man, did they
and
have a-
Deshaun Watson had a long day back
Oh,
there.
God.
Boy.
That's
It
why
was-
It's in a lawsuit.
Because I never believed in him anyway.
Yeah.
So
Lord Voldemort there is not doing well. 33-17 loss to the Cowboys.
Yep.
The Bucks, look, the Commanders made everybody look great on that field because that defense was not existent. 37-20, they win. The Lions pulled off in Sunday Night Football in a great game that goes to overtime. Squeak it out 26-20. Niners and the Jets on Monday night. No CMC and no problem, baby, because they pull out that victory easily, 32-19, and it looks like the Aaron Rodgers era.
Brett Favre. Hey, Brett Favre.
Oh, man, just retire.
John Madden. Like, Brett Favre. Look at this play right over here. And then boom, and Brett Favre. He's like, all right. Thanks for the recap there, Jay. We appreciate it. Hey, what do you have before we go into the whole Tyreek Hill situation? What do you have for us just overall on fantasy? And then when we get into our picks later on, I think we have 5 games this week. We're going to talk about, obviously, we're going to talk about the Raiders against Baltimore. We're going to talk about Cincinnati, Kansas City, Tampa Bay and Detroit, Seattle, New England, and of course the Jets and Tennessee. Because I want to see, are the Jets are they going to crumble? Is Tennessee going to bounce back? So that was one of the reasons I picked those.
Yep.
So what do you have just for fantasy overall?
Overall fantasy, I mean, it was a rough week. Not a whole lot of touchdowns, especially in the air game. I think it was one of the lowest touchdown totals as far as passing touchdowns. So don't get discouraged. Hold on to some of your guys. Wait it out. It was only week 1. I think the big questions is some of the running backs. I was very heavy on James Cook. Just puts a nice game into perspective. I didn't like any of the receiving games because Buffalo does tend to shut down the receivers. The running game was going to be key for Buffalo. And surprisingly, the rookie, Keon Coleman, I was looking at the snap count for Buffalo, played 54% of the snaps and got more targets than anybody else on the Buffalo squad. So it looks like the young rookie is going to pull through in the end. The biggest thing was Derrick Henry. And I know I said this on my show. If you follow me at Vegas Guys Locker Room, YouTube VGLR 2022, I talked about Derrick Henry in the offseason, and I did not like what I was seeing. He only gets 46% of the snaps, only gets 13 carries, and you know he's not going to participate in that passing game. So anybody who's a Derrick Henry fan, holder, you might want to look elsewhere. Justice Hill was available in a lot of leagues this week. I know he was a big pickup. Jordan Mason for the Niners, of course, with the CMC injury, you don't know how long that's going to be. That could be a season-long injury. Yep. So Jordan Mason, if you can get your hands on some of these running backs, probably a good thing. And look at Braylon Allen for the Jets. Breece Hall does have a tendency to get injured. He doesn't last a full season. Braylon Allen is the clear backup as he came in at garbage time on Monday night. He should get some touches, and it's a young, speedy kid coming out of the Jets there.
Well, I'll tell you, McMahon, nobody does it any better than Jesse the Body Vegas.
That's right. He's got it.
Nice job.
Nice. Really good on the fantasy. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I was going to say you guys go enjoy this game.
Boy, that's what all say. Yeah, baby. Enjoy. If I put money on Buffalo, I'd be thoroughly enjoying it. Fish. Killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
But I want to touch on the entire thing that happened on Sunday with Tyreek Hill. So we'll roll the film.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why you have it up? Sit down. Hey! Keep your window down. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me that. Get out of the car. Give me that. We'll break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of blood don't you understand? Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little fucking confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew. Hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. stop crying.
Bro, y'all,
Don't move.
bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
Just set him up.
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, bro, dude beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin. Dang.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Hey. Hold on, twin, hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just had surgery in your ears when we go there. Put your window down.
Chill, bro. Hey, don't do, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew. Hey, call Drew. Call Drew, bro. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey.
What am I doing that's wrong? Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating on Tyreek,
Listen, big man, don't park there, man. Just get in
Hey,
the car.
hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Straight out the side, on the side of the,
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey, you're in the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car.
All right, move.
All right, I'll take that.
You gotta move right now.
I'm coming, man.
Let me have your license. You're gonna ticket too.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You're gonna ticket. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your
I'm
license.
leaving. Yo, what's
Your
going
license
on?
right now.
Yo, what's going on,
Your license
man?
right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
Get in the car and leave.
You're not gonna give me your license?
I'm leaving.
Let me have your
I'm
license.
leaving,
Your
man.
license right now.
Sir, you want me to
Hey,
leave?
your license right now.
I'm leaving.
Or I'm gonna lock you up.
just told
Your
me to
license
leave.
right now.
He just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir, he just-
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now.
Respect for cops, man, but obviously, you know, everybody has bad apples in every situation, you know. So, I want to be able to, you know, use this platform, you know, to figure out a way to like flip this and, you know, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, you know, so that way we can team together and, you know, do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. Like, you guys are here to like protect us as individuals, and you know, I have a platform and I want to be able to team up with you guys, so that's all I gotta say. So
Eric, why do you believe the police put you in handcuffs?
I have no idea, for real. No idea, man. It's crazy. No idea. It wasn't disrespectful, you know, because my mom didn't raise me that way. Didn't cuss. Didn't do none of that. So, like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, man.
All right. And on that happy note, what we would like to do is just bring you a public service announcement on behalf of First and Mad right here at Mad Maddies.
People in the black community, myself, often worry that we might be a victim of police brutality. So, as a public service, the Chris Rock Show proudly presents this educational video. Have you ever been face to face with a police officer and wondered, is he about to kick my ass? Well, wonder no more. If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine. First, obey the law. Laws were made for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. Well, here's some of that shit. Carjacking, armed robbery, arson, selling drugs, buying drugs, stabbing, shooting. You know, you probably won't get your ass kicked if you just use common sense. If you jump a subway turnstile, you might just get off with a warning from the police. But if you jump a turnstile carrying a loaded gun and smoking a joint, then maybe you need your ass kicked. We all know what happened to Rodney King. But Rodney wouldn't have gotten his ass kicked if he had just followed this simple tip. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately. Everybody knows, if the police have to come and get you, they're bringing an ass kicking with them. no-brainer. If you're listening to loud rap music, turn that shit off. Blasting "fuck the police" while you're getting pulled over by the police is just
Oh,
Yeah,
it all out
I'm
the
going to come
window there.
back to the live
Flood.
broadcast. All right, you guys
I'm
can
gonna
come
put
back
this on
in.
autoplay.
Look, Tua just
Coming
took a
down,
big
brother.
hit. He's down on the field. That did not look good from that
I
replay.
got $41 on there. It'll be a lot of fun.
Jesse, welcome back to the show. I know Floody will probably come in here in just a moment. That did not look good.
No, that was bad. As soon as you saw his hands kind of crinkle up, and you knew that was a bad thing right there. That's a tough break for Tua. I know he's put on all the work trying to get back there and avoid these hits, and it wasn't like it was a big hit. It just was kind of the wrong
Timeout right now.
Yeah.
It was his own fault.
Yeah,
He
he went into
5
it.
feet first. First, he went with his head into the guy,
Yeah.
and he got jolted.
Yeah.
You know, I just sang the song. I can ring my bell.
Well, he rang his own bell. There's no doubt about that.
He could
That was
actually
bad.
be done for his career,
I think he's done.
depending on how bad
If
that
this,
is.
well, did you see his neck? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
the
more.
way his neck exploded. Yeah,
Brought
But yeah,
into
I know,
the defensive
I know,
back. The
I know.
defensive back just went in for a regular tackle.
I don't.
Head went side to on the
Yeah.
side and everything. What happened to slide
I
feet
think
first?
yeah.
Why are you doing? You're
I
not
don't-
trying to protect yourself. I'm sorry. I don't see anybody get hurt.
I don't either, but I agree with you. He brought
Yeah,
that
he
on
brought-
himself. He knows better. He should, I don't know what was he trying to score a touchdown? I mean,
I don't think he knew what
he was already 2 or 3 yards past the first down. It was 4th and 4, and all he needed was 4 yards.
Yeah,
He ended up picking up 7.
all right,
And
he is
went
up.
head
He is
first.
walking off the field.
I don't think he realized where the sticks were.
I think he looks
I don't
like
think
his
that's what I
bell is
think it was.
completely
I don't think he
wrong.
realized where the sticks were.
Well, you know, sometimes in those moments you don't.
Yeah,
He is walking off the field. We are watching
He's
him.
walking off the field
McDaniel
right
is
now.
talking
He's
to
gonna
him.
go into a tent.
I don't think
They're gonna
he's
look at
definitely
him.
going into the
He's
tent.
got a slight concussion, probably,
Obviously.
and this could be the end.
It could be.
You might just see the
It
beginning.
could
of
very
the end.
well be the
I'm
end of
sorry
his
to see
career.
that, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
like
he's
the kid,
using the smelling
you
salts
know,
right
but,
now.
you know, it's feet first, dude.
Oh, and he has to go into the tent.
Yeah.
You took a blow to the head. And you said I didn't.
Yeah,
You said his hands
saw
were doing
his
it again.
hands did the same thing.
Yeah,
he did
well, he's
last
going
time.
into concussion protocol for 3 weeks.
Doesn't look
So-
good, folks.
Sorry, folks. I'm a Dolphin fan, but quite frankly, I didn't expect the team to win 8 games, maybe 9. If Tua is out for any time,
Well,
Skylar
2
Thompson, bring back. Well, we can't even bring back Mike White. Yeah, I
There's
mean,
my 2 wins for the Patriots.
here comes.
Sorry, bud.
You just got
Sorry,
muted.
bud.
While he's down.
Oh my God! I tell you what. I think it's time to bring Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, he's still available.
He's
He
looking
is
for a
still available.
team. This could be the opportunity.
Who's
Because
this?
here's
Johnny
Skylar
White?
Thompson.
Who's
Skylar
in
Thompson's
there
out there now.
Number 19.
This is Skylar Thompson.
No, Skylar Thompson. Well, no, I
Skylar
thought it was Scott
Thompson.
Mitchell. Who
Oh.
I knew personally.
Well, Dave,
He
I
wore
get,
19 for you.
you want to talk about Scott Mitchell? I mean, the guy that we have coming up on the interview here next is Bobby Monica, who was the Dolphins' equipment manager. He started as an assistant in 1980. By 84, he was named as the head guy, and he went through 93. So he was with
All those great teams, all
Marino,
those great
Shula, the Marx
Mhm.
brothers, and so I tell you what, we're going to go ahead. We'll keep an eye on this. We're going to go ahead and go to
Then
the
you're
interview with
showing all
Bob,
his
and
head debacles.
we're going to go ahead to the interview with Bob. We'll be right back. This is about a 20-minute interview. So game is what we'll come back by
You're
the end of the
knocking
game.
on the door. There goes Tua into the
Yeah,
locker
he's
room.
going to the locker
He's
room.
done for the night.
He's
maybe
done for the
career.
night,
Sorry,
obviously. Yeah.
folks. One slip, you know.
Yeah, that's tough.
Feet first, there, fella.
Like I said, I don't think he realized where he was and
No,
where
he
he was,
didn't.
because I don't think he looked where the sticks
Well,
were.
and if his hands went up like that
as soon
again,
as you saw it,
we've
as soon
already
as he
gone
went
through
like
that
that,
in
and
the
his hands
Cincinnati
rolled
game
up.
2 years ago. So
Yep. I was like, ooh, that gave me flashbacks when he first that Cincinnati game.
yeah,
That was all it looked like.
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know
oh, no.
that's rough.
Yeah, that's a
All
tough
right.
one.
All right, well that was a flashback, but I tell you what, folks,
Flashback.
here is
Your boy here, what's his name again?
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar
Skylar
Thompson.
Thompson.
If he goes down, who's in? Dan Marino.
What is that? What commercial is that? What is that? Doritos commercial?
Yeah. With all the guys coming back. Yeah.
He's out there with his glasses trying to read.
He's still got a pretty good cannon. It's pretty good. Yeah, we'll bring in Finkel too. Why
Ray Finkel.
Ray Finkel.
All right. Listen, we're going to go to an interview. I did this afternoon. I got a chance to talk with a friend of mine, former Miami Dolphins equipment manager. He went on to Cleveland and also the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now he is the director of equipment for the UFL, Bob Monica.
All right. Well, this is a Dolphin radio kind of thing, and also for First and Mad tonight here at Mad Maddie's. I finally got a chance to catch up with an old friend of mine, Bobby Monica. He was the former equipment manager for the Miami Dolphins. He was with the Dolphins organization from 1980 to 1993. Got to work with some of the greatest in the game. I'm going to let him talk about that. He is now the equipment director for the XFL. You can see the
UFL
behind him. What's that?
We merged with the USFL. Now it's
you know what? I had that in mind. So originally XFL, and now it's UFL.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you've been with that for now 2 years, correct?
4 years.
4 years. That's right, because you were in. Okay.
Yeah, I started the reboot of the XFL, and then that was 2019, 2020. We were on the field, and then we had to stop because of the fake virus, and then we came back in 22 and 23.
I remember talking to you, I think, as far back as 22, because I was looking at an article from 23 February when you had been officially named a director for equipment for the XFL. I talked to you several times, even as far back as 21, and you were flying around with The Rock.
Yeah, well, not with him, but for him. Yeah, actually, yeah. The main ownership group is Redbird Capital, which is a finance group out of Connecticut. Okay. The guy's unbelievable. The guy that owns it he owns I think AC Milan, just all kinds. He's in sports deep.
Well, that's a good thing to have. But these leagues, we know, going back to the USFL and then the original XFL, they never seem to go. They never seem to have that capital that's necessary. So hopefully you've got that this time.
It's money. It's all money. I think they right now, because in 23 with the USFL playing a season and us playing a season at the same time, we were kind of competing against each other for players and for TV time and viewership. So now with the merger, we pretty much have a lock on it. I don't think there's any other spring league that would even dare start because we have money, and being with Fox now, our TV numbers were excellent, and I know everybody's really excited about starting with this year again, and it's all about money and ratings. That's all it's about.
And how were the ratings for the league this past season? Was it pretty good?
Well, I don't want to be a spokesman for the league. You could look it up. Our ratings, I believe, we beat soccer, tennis, basketball. We had better ratings than a bunch of them at the time periods that we were showing games.
Well, that's the thing. I always felt that there was a spring league that could be successful because it's football. I mean, if you think about it, I know everybody tries to say that baseball is America's game, but I really think that football has overtaken baseball, especially after that strike they had, 96, 97?
Yeah, well, the premise of the spring leagues is, that's how it started. It was when college and pro NFL were over, people were still jonesing for football. So all these kind of leagues started up. But, I mean, you wouldn't believe how much it costs. It's just crazy.
It's got to be ungodly. I can only imagine. Take us back a little bit, and because you could refer to cost then to today. Does it seem to be going along with inflation and the cost of living from when you started in 1980 with the Dolphins? Tell us a little bit about that time and what you think of the game then, as you experienced it with Shula and the gang, and what you think of the game now.
The game then was guys were playing for a living. You know what I mean? If you missed, it was almost like the Lou Gehrig thing. If you missed time, somebody's going to take your spot. So, guys, I've never seen such tough guys ever that when I first started. Because I played college ball. I blew my knee out, played high school for my dad. But these guys playing with injuries that normal guy would miss fucking – oh, sorry.
Hey, that's okay. You should see what we're going to play later about Tyreek Hill.
A normal guy would miss 4 weeks of work. I mean, these guys are going in the locker room and coming back. I mean, John Giesler, I'll give you an example. Left tackle, John Giesler.
I know John well, yeah.
All right, so the 1 year, his knee was just totally trashed. Didn't practice all week. Come to the Orange Bowl on crutches. They'd put about 8 needles in his knee, play the game, and leave the game on crutches.
Yeah.
It's
funny you mentioned that because there's another former player. When we're not recording, I'll tell you who it was. But he was talking about all of the guys, especially late in the season when we're making a playoff push, which we almost always did with Shula. He said you would get done playing a game, you would come into practice on Monday, and all of these guys standing in line taking the needle, getting ready to take the needle because they had to play. That was their paycheck. It was their livelihood, like you said.
Yeah.
What was it like for you, not only to be working for a coach like Don Shula and his staff, but the players that you got to be around in Miami? I mean, you're talking Marino, the Marks brothers, just the killer bees.
It was, for me, like I said, I've been in football since the day I was born. My dad was a coach for 40 years in New Jersey, high school, and played for him, played college. It's, always too short to do anything further. But just to be around it in that respect, in that job, being every day working with the players in the locker room, fooling around with them, and then getting them ready for the game. It was almost like playing, because you were preparing all week for the game, and then the only thing, they weren't watching us on film and stuff, but you take pride in the guys. Everybody had everything they needed. They looked good, and they went out there, and that was our thing. So it was like, you're getting ready for the game the same as them somewhat, and you enjoy a win's a win, the same feeling. It was fantastic, man. The guys were so cool. It was, because I was the same age, a lot of them. To be honest with you, the best thing happened to me is Kim Bocamper, right? I grew up with his wife in New Jersey.
Really? I didn't know that.
Since we were like 5 years old. So now I go back to college. I was working rock and roll shows in Philly for 4 years. I quit school for 4 years. And I went back and I went to Biscayne College, started working for the Dolphins. And Kim Bocamper was my best friend. He took care of me like unbelievable. Unbelievable. So his wife was the only one I know. So through them, I would get, all the holidays, all the, go and play. Me and Bo used to go to the fights all the time. And we did everything together. And then he was real close with AJ and Kozlowski and Baumhauer.
Yeah.
And so that became my group of friends. And we were all pretty much the same age. And it was a blast, man. I never, now you look back and you say, man, I should have got into like football ops or scouting or something like that where I could keep elevating. But I was like, man, I don't want to stop doing this. It's a blast.
But and the thing is that because you should never ever cut yourself short on anything like that, because the equipment guy, I mean, you said those guys, they depended on you. That equipment had to be a top-notch shape. Did you actually take the helmets apart, make sure that they were clean, helmet stickers were new every week? Not
new stickers as needed.
Okay.
But the Dolphins were somewhat cheap, so if you notice,
Robbie.
Yeah, in training camp, we didn't put the decals on the helmets till the first game.
Right. I know. It's always a white helmet. Yeah.
Veterans got the stripes, and then first game we put the decals on.
Yeah.
And you could look back on like 72, 73. And I wasn't there, but being in equipment, you're looking at equipment uniforms. They had when the Dolphin came when it was out of the sun, and then it went back into the sun. The burst. There's two different decals on the helmets on the sidelines.
Never noticed that.
Yeah.
And I should have, because you'll remember me now for sure. The first time I ever met you, we talked on the phone. I was living in Kansas City. I
remember. Yeah.
The helmet stickers for my team.
Yeah, I remember. the equipment, it wasn't not even close to what's going on now. Not even close. I mean, just the evolution of the protective equipment alone is so much different. The clothing, I mean, we had T-shirts and shorts and socks. That was it. I mean, you put it over the chair because we didn't have the laundry loops at the time. We didn't have the mesh bags. It was numbered, and you throw it over the chair. And it was we didn't even have cold weather gear. We go to play in Buffalo, and if you'll notice on some of the pictures, you'll see like the fluorescent orange sleeves on some of the guys.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s. Well, I got those from a friend of mine back home that had a sporting goods store, and they were hunting things because, I mean, I worked for Danny Dow. He was the equipment manager. And he used to send me to Burdines to get Big Mama stockings, women's stocking.
Yeah.
That's what they wore underneath, and then we had those like waffle things like your mother used to give you, the thermal tops.
Yep.
But there was no cold weather gear. So
well, I remember you mentioned the pantyhose. Basically, I mean that's how Joe Namath ended up doing the legs pantyhose commercials because he was wearing just like all the other guys. They were wearing that in cold weather games to keep the legs warm.
It was there was nothing. I mean, now we got performance fabric, we got tight fit, we got all this stuff. We had jock straps back then. I haven't ordered a jock strap in 10 years, maybe more.
That's all built into the pants now, isn't it?
It's just the compression shorts they wear.
Yeah. Well, and even, I remember when I played, because I played middle school and high school in the early 80s, late 70s.
They didn't have face masks back then.
Barely. With a little one that came around this way. And I thought I was cool when the coach finally put me on defensive line, which is why he did that. I don't know. I was a little runt. And he gave me one of those full face masks. I thought, man, I made it.
Yeah.
Tell me something else, though. I want to know what's it like because I don't think we didn't have any Thursday night games back then that I remember.
No.
You played on Thursday if it was a Thanksgiving game, which the Dolphins got a chance to play a lot on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But now we have these short weeks. Dolphins just played a game on Sunday. Granted, it was a home game. Tonight's a home game. It's only 4 days away. But still, what is the logistics of having that equipment ready to go? And if you had to travel, how difficult would that be?
Well, you before the season starts, you pretty much have your trunks packed.
Okay.
Right? So you know what your setup is going to be. So if there's a Thursday night game, it's just a matter of stepping up your schedule. You know what I mean? Where you repack. You have to do the laundry from the previous week, depending on what uniforms you're wearing. Those already have to be getting made up, and names and the proper names and everything, and the color pants, whatever. So you have to just move your stuff back and repack your trunks, and it's not that hard for these guys because they're so on top of it. I mean, you got guys going to foreign countries now to play games, and that's a nightmare in itself. You have to have what they call a carnet, and it's for customs. So every screw, cleat, every little thing has to be listed. The manufacturer, the price, everything listed, and how many screws you got, how many nuts you got, how many this you got, everything.
Does that count all of the nuts that you got on the team? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a gimme right there.
Because we know football players, and some of them are absolutely, I wouldn't say they're nuts. They're fun. I remember Jim Jenkins, or not Jenkins, Jensen. Jim Jensen.
Yeah. I talked to him. I talked to him a couple of days ago.
Crash is hysterical. You know that dolphin cruise that they had?
Yeah.
So I went on that, and I'm playing. Jim he loved some free card poker. I don't like that game, but he was trying to help me and teach me that. I sat down at a $25 table with him one night. Within about 10 minutes, I think I'd lost about $500, and I just looked at him, and I mean, he was just having some fun. He went into the cornhole championship. His first time up, he just walked up there. He had a bottle of beer in one hand, and he had the bags in his pocket, and he just walked right up to it and went thump, thump, thump.
Yeah, he was a great athlete. I tell you, back then those guys, they were. I had the greatest guys. I mean, I'm still friends with a bunch of them. It was the greatest guys going, man.
Yeah. It was great getting to catch up with a lot of them because I had met them through the years. Coming down to training camp. By the way, I don't know Bob Lundy. Have you ever heard from him anymore?
When I did 2 years, 3 years of Next Gen Stats when I left the Browns. So after the Dolphins, I went to the Jaguars for 4 years. Then I went to the Browns for 7 years, and then they brought in a guy that invented pro football, GM, and he got rid of all of us. And that was a joke. So I got a job with Next Gen Stats. You know how they put the RFID chips in the shoulder pads and track the players, and then on Next Gen Stats. So I got to go back a couple of times, and then actually the first year after I left the Browns, Brian Wiedmeyer, who was the greatest guy in the world, I worked for the alumni. So I was in the skybox, and Lundy would come to all the games, but I haven't seen him since then, and that was a long time ago. 2000.
Some of the players said they hear from him, I guess, every once in a while, but not often.
That was 2006. So, but I don't go to the games. I don't go to the Dolphin games because I'm not going to sit in the stands, and I don't get invited to the alumni suite. The players, it's up players. That's fine. Let them do it. Let them watch TV.
You know what? You were like to me. You were kind of like an honorary player, because I remember you always had training camp going on. You'd had the barbecue going, and you and Danny'd be throwing steaks on the grill or whatever. The Marx brothers would be hanging out with y'all. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
I still get to see those guys. I saw we have a team in Houston, so Clayton lives there, so he would come to the games. I see him. I go have dinner with him. Talked to Baumhauer yesterday because he comes back and forth to Fort Lauderdale. He has a boat in Fort Lauderdale, and I talk to Giesler like once a week. I talk to everybody. It's great.
How is Giesler doing? Is he doing good?
He's doing good. Just got his knee replaced. He lives up in up by Daytona.
Okay.
And he just bought some property in like the mountains. He's building a house there, so he's doing well. He's doing really well.
You mentioned our buddy Kozlowski, Mike.
Yeah,
I hung out with him a lot. I heard he's in California now, right?
He's in California. I believe he's coaching a high school team, helping out.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. He moved back there, see his kids.
Yeah, I used to hang out with him a lot. I don't remember if you came in. Remember when he had Kaza Sports Arena on Federal Highway at Fort Lauderdale?
All those jerseys and helmets that were in there, that were mine. Going there every
huge.
I was in there every weekend, man.
Let me ask you a question, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and you can close out. But we all know what happened on Sunday. We played the video. We've seen the reaction to it. What is your take on that? What do you think?
From talking to the guys, they said he's a great guy in the locker room with the staff. Always a nice kid. So that makes me like a guy. The video that they showed, I'm baffled on it. How do you start a conversation with a police officer on why you knocking on my window like that 6, 7 times? How the hell do you got the balls to do that?
Yeah.
What are you knocking on my window for? Because that's what they do. You got tinted windows. These guys get shot for a living. Yep. They didn't know who he was. Here's my take on it. Personally, I think in that instance he was a jerk off.
Yes.
Right. I think he was. Okay. Now, if he just rolled the window down, gave him his stuff, when they found out who he was, and I truly believe this, because those cops they work all the games. They're Dolphin fans. They make a lot of money because a lot of officers get hired per game, right? If they found out who he was right off the bat and he was pleasant to them, they would have drove his ass to the player parking lot and give him an escort.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm not. I see there was. I'm going to fault Tyreek a little bit because he did have a bit of an attitude. I do think that the cops should have been able to de-escalate that. But have you actually seen? There's one video. You can hear one of the officers because Tyreek rolled the window down a lot more at first. Then he rolled it back up because he didn't want people walking by to see.
I understand that, but you can't do that at a traffic stop. You can't do that.
You can hear one of the cops about 2 seconds in go, "Oh, it's Tyreek." So
I saw them. They were off. Yeah, they were off away from him. Yeah.
Yeah. So they knew, and I think they could have de-escalated. So I think there's fault on both sides.
Yes, I agree. I'm not saying he that but he started it off bad. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You got that kind of money. You roll down a winner. Hey, here you go, man. Give me the ticket. I gotta get going. Give me the ticket. I'll pay. He don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
And then go on your way. Why start shit with him? It don't
Well,
make
and
sense.
the thing is, now he's given himself a bloody nose with his image, which, let's be honest, going back to some of the stuff that happened in Kansas City, his image probably wasn't even the best. But you're right. He is very popular in the locker room. He's very popular, I think, with the coaching staff, obviously. And
Yeah,
I know
great
several of the
player.
fans that go every week, and
He's
they love him.
Great player.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, you take your hit and you go. Now I'll tell you this. Like I said, all of them cops. This is my thought. All of those cops that work those games, right? Now they all make extra money on that stuff. The guys, I guess, try to get on that detail because it's a good detail to get a weekend pay. But he wants the cop fired. Now, first of all, who are you to say you want a cop fired? Oh, yeah, we'll fire him because you said. Second of all, if that police union gets in a beef with that and he files a lawsuit and all that kind of stuff, and they boycott a game because of that, and there's no cops at the game, you can't play the game. The city won't let you play the game without the police there.
So, Tyreek, if you're listening, you better knock this off because I'm going to the Raiders game in November.
Yeah, just if you're listening, just don't be a jerk off. That's all.
Well, Bob, I don't want to take up any more of your time, and we've got a little bit of short time here for ourselves today. But I wanted to thank you so much for joining me. It was great to see you again. We got to do this again.
I'm here, man. Thank you.
Old school, man.
Baby.
So when they throw that, see.
All right. Well, we're back, and we have no update yet on Tua, but I'm going to go over here to the guys to talk about this a little bit and see, what their thoughts are on this. It was tough to watch. Jay, you said that you saw his hands.
I saw, the hands crinkle up, and it reminded me of the last time when he had the 2 concussions in the Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
And that gave me the flashback to that. So this could be
the end. Career ending. Never mind just the season or for the next month.
Yeah, I don't think in good conscience you can put him back on the field.
I don't. Well, we know he's going to be in concussion protocol for at least, I would say, the next 2 weeks, probably 3. Doesn't bode well for the Dolphins season at all. Not that I mean, I'm a Dolphin fan. You guys know that. I said prior to the season, I think I even said it last week, I don't believe any of these people that are saying that the Dolphins are going to have even a chance at the playoffs.
Not now.
Well, not now.
Maybe, just maybe, like I said, we haven't heard anything. Maybe it's a shoulder or neck. But
I
when
hope
that,
that
can go this way on a pinched nerve in the neck too.
They did put it out that he is out due to a concussion. They did.
Oh, they did.
He's in concussion protocol. Yeah. He's not coming out. He'll miss the next game and probably the game after that for sure.
You should be wishful thinking on that. I think he's going to miss. I think his career.
I think he's done.
Or it's going to be at the end of the ties with the Dolphins, I think.
Well,
but didn't they sign him?
We just extended him this last year.
He's pull an Aaron Rodgers. Oh, pay me all the rest of the year. Did he get paid all last year? He most certainly did. Pulling his Achilles. All right. And then he comes back and looks like this. That's who he's writing on the wall. He just gave me the big contract. I'm going to go down and make believe on the Twitch, but I collect the money. And, there it goes. Jeez, man. Telling you, man, all about the Benjamins, man. Make sure I get that guaranteed side Dolphish money. Then I'm just going to go in and play just a little bit because I don't want to play the rest of the year. But I'll sit in the
Well, at least he's not pulling a Jamar Chase. I mean, he actually got hurt.
Oh, yeah. It's not a Jamar Chase situation.
And the whole thing with Jamar Chase, remember, I said it last week. I said the whole thing with Jamar Chase is going to hurt the Bengals, and it did. Because they came out last week, they looked like crap.
But they were going against the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, too. Don't forget.
Oh, good
After
Lord.
tonight, I'll be in first place with the Bills.
All right. Well, on that happy
We're
note,
both
this
undefeated
has
there,
been
Fish.
First and Mad.
Let's see what happens. He goes out from the orange Julius Combs, orange cone shirt, to the green shirt, and now his quarterback's out there. Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
The
tough.
end of
All
the
right.
baseball
Yeah,
season,
baby.
bro.
Yeah,
You know,
baby.
I'm pulling there. We had a hot break loss against the Skanks.
It's
Skanky.
all right. Let's tell you. Let's go in. Let's cover. We are in Las Vegas, so let's just go ahead and let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Their game last week. A little bit of a recap. Jay, I'm going to turn this one over to you. A little bit of a recap on the Raiders game last week.
Raiders
and then
game
this week.
Yeah, the Raiders game this last week against the Chargers, like we said, we talked about it a little bit earlier. The offense looked very stagnant. It didn't look like it'd do much. Losing Josh Jacobs, I think, has hurt a little bit more than I think they were expecting. Zamir White did not play the majority of that game. It was more Alexander Madison, which was surprising. But I think that negative game script where they had to throw the ball a lot more than they planned to kind of went with the Alexander Madison situation.
I think because of what Brad asked for, the recap, I'll go get it in the men's room because that's what they looked like in the bottom of the bowl, baby. They were horrible. Offense, defense, the whole 9 yards. Sorry, Raider fans out there, but there wasn't really anything. And Crosby didn't even look like himself.
No,
You know what I mean?
looked
They
bad.
double teamed him because he deserves it. He's a hell of a player. But they just looked really.
And then going into this week, you get Baltimore Ravens coming off that heartbreaking toe loss.
Yeah.
With just right there on the goal line. They're coming. They're playing against the Raiders. We
And
talked
the
about
Raiders
that.
going to go clear across country
Clear across
now
country.
after leaving San Diego there. I tell you, a lot of those games that you see, a lot of the West Coast teams, they go and play on the East Coast and play that early morning game, don't usually fare well.
No.
I don't think it looks very good for the Raiders this week. And Baltimore's had an extra day of rest, even though they had to travel or whatnot. Their game was done Friday. They jump on a plane Saturday, and they have been rested all week long.
Yeah.
And
Baltimore actually looked. Baltimore damn near came back and won that game.
Yeah.
that's what we were kind of rapping about. So it
you
doesn't
think
look
about
good
that.
for the Raiders this week. I'm telling you right now.
No, it should be a long game. Looking at it from a fantasy aspect, if you have to play anybody, like I said, you should be worried about Derrick Henry. You're hopefully looking to fall in the end zone, get your touchdowns that way. Look at Justice Hill. He did play the majority of the snaps, especially if they want to throw the ball. They have no receivers there in Baltimore. Zay Flowers, of course, getting all the targets, not a whole lot of yardage. Look for the running backs to get more involved, especially Justice Hill. On the Vegas side, it's going to be tough going. I think your only play there is probably Madison because you think it's going to be another negative game script, so that they're going to look to throw the ball. Look for Madison if you're in a PPR league. Yeah.
Excuse me, man. Excuse me. That's how bad he is. Man, boy. I don't understand what this Raider team keeps doing, though, with signing these kind of half backup quarterbacks.
It's a tough one.
Are you seeing a trend seeing there?
Well, I think they're looking at it from an aspect of, okay, let's build the team upwards rather than go in the free agency and spend big money.
They didn't want to sign Carr.
No, they did not want to sign
I
Carr.
thought Carr was a fairly middle of the pack type of quarterback that can move the ball sometimes. Sometimes he game manages so he doesn't lose the game, but better than anything they've had going last year, this year. I don't know who's on the bench for them, but Carr looked really good with the Saints. So
that's hard to take because that was Carolina's defense.
True.
And that team is in this array. So
let's turn around. Let's talk about another team that they have a possibility of going 0-2, and I know everybody is talking about Cincinnati has done this before. They started out 0-2. I think didn't they start out 0-2?
They start out 0-2 a lot. I believe the head coach has only got one win in opening week since he became a head coach, and he only has one win in week 2 since becoming head coach. So it's always a rough go for the Bengals.
This week they're going to go. This week they're going to go to Kansas City.
0-2.
Yeah.
So
I got him
we had a tough one.
KC's also had the extra rest too.
Yes, they
played Thursday. Now they got 0-2 Cincinnati.
Well, as Bob just talked about, it's not so much on the equipment staff to get everything ready to go. They're pretty good. They just up their game a little bit. But the players, when you got to go especially when this game's in Kansas City.
Mhm.
So now you got to go on the road to Kansas City and play. You just lost. You lost, in my opinion, you lost because your number one receiver, who's still got 2 years on his contract, wants a new deal. And it's on you, Cincinnati, because what I found out is that Cincinnati approached him and said they wanted to lock him into a new deal, a long-term deal, and then they didn't do it. So
For the most
now you've got all of that.
For the most part, though, to kind of help Cincinnati a little bit, you've lost to the last 3 powerhouses. Former New England Patriots, that you're going to lose to Kansas City, and now the Patriots. Wait a minute, brother.
Did he just say that New England was a powerhouse?
Former.
Okay.
He did say former.
The new powerhouse.
Oh, but then he gets that
Cincinnati's in trouble. They start off 0-2. Guess what? They'll be 0-2.
It's going to be an 0-2 start for them. I don't see them coming out there.
See what they do next.
Yeah.
I don't see any chance for them.
If you look at it from a fantasy aspect, play any Kansas City Chief you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
The Bengals were the bottom half against running backs, and they were the 9th worst against receivers. Look at Rashee Rice. And if you do have Xavier Worthy, look at putting him in there if you want a high output this week, because you'll get a nice floor with him, but you will get the big playability because he will be open. So any Kansas City Chief, throw him in there. Pacheco should have a big day.
Excellent call on that, because you just lost Jacoby Brissett. Now here goes Mahomes. You got Mahomes. I might play him.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think we go to Tampa Bay and Detroit? I picked this game just because, look, Baker Mayfield, Cleveland's got to be thinking.
Nobody.
Deshaun
He
Watson.
gave up on Baker, by the way.
Yeah.
I
know he did. I know.
But
we're talking about one game, guys. Just take it easy. It was the Commanders.
Buddy, you and I were the only ones last week on this entire show that were behind Baker Mayfield. So
don't worry. The true colors will come out. Don't worry.
He is going into a very difficult place to play and a little hostile.
Well, I think Detroit has the upper hand on this. We talked about this last week. I like Dan Campbell as the head coach. That team plays for Dan Campbell on both sides of the ball. They'll run through a wall for that dude. They love playing for him. The play calling is awesome. Tampa's they're running into a
Dome
juggernaut.
up there is fired up. Man. They were that close to almost beating your 49ers last year. And they're hungry.
Yeah.
It's a hungry lion, man.
It should be a good game. It'll be a good game. Look for, I hate to say it because I think the Baker's true colors will come out eventually, but he should have a decent week. Detroit's defense is not very good against the pass. So he should have plenty of opportunity to get his guys the ball. Look for Chris Godwin to really go off this game, I think.
Brad, I kind of sense somebody trying to come back over to.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. No. Baker will still be Baker.
Wins that division.
It's going to be tough. But, yeah, I mean, if you got the Bucs receivers, play them this week. Detroit is terrible. They are good against the run, so I would stay away from Tampa Bay's running backs. On the other side of the ball, the Bucs were 3rd against running backs last year, but they were terrible against receivers. So this should be a shootout in the passing game. So look for those guys.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game in the sense that I think that Tampa Bay will be able to put up a couple of points against
absolutely.
Baker, but I think Detroit's too tough, like a 38-21 game. Entertaining, points, fantasy.
I think it could be a rough day for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think now you're getting Jameson Williams involved. Those of you guys who drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown early in drafts and Sam Laporta could take a hit because they are looking to get Jameson Williams involved, so your target share is going to go down.
Yeah, understandable. All right, so we're going to come back to now. This is Floody's game. All right, we have to think about that. You got 2 home games in a row. Miami's had 2 in a row. This week you got Seattle.
Who, the Patriots?
Yeah,
they won in Cincinnati last week. Come on now. This is our first.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. This is your home opener. I'm sorry.
And once again, I told you guys time and time again, West Coast team flying East Coast, playing in the morning. Now, Seattle's a different team
you're right.
all on its own. Mm-hmm. Gino never fared well against New England as a Jet or anywhere else. We just brought in Butler for any interceptions in the end zone. Oh, wait, Ron, that was last Super Bowl over there. Seattle Chicken fans. No, I will say this much. New England's catching a Seattle team on that time zone at home opener with a good win on the road last week. Don't be surprised if they take and have a little early Thanksgiving in September and pluck the season.
You think Jared Mayonnaise is going to have another good game?
You.
I'm taking the Pats in this game. I hate to say it, but I am taking the Pats.
Oh my God, I got to put some tape over
their
your mouth.
defense is stellar.
Where is that?
The
tape? I gotta find
the defense is stellar.
The Seahawks look like they're struggling on offense. The passing game wasn't there. It's probably not going to be there again this week.
Wow.
Look at and Kenneth Walker being hurt is not going to help. Zach Charbonnet has not impressed as a second-year
kind of an ugly game. I don't know what the weather's like. It could always change up there. A little wet and sloppy. But I think New England kind of pulls this thing out.
I think they do.
Something
I think it's a low-scoring game. In fact, the only person I'm playing in this game in Fun Fantasy is Ramondre Stevenson. I think that's the only person worth starting in this game.
That's the local kid here from
so
Vegas, folks.
I'm checking out the board for next week, so I got a mute button and a mute button.
That's from the Dolphins down to 21 at home. Oh boy, glad you guys came to play. You're the 2 games at home in a row.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I forgot. I forgot you guys went on the road to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, we're on to Cincinnati. On to Cincinnati.
I know.
We're on to Cincinnati.
My bad.
All right.
My bad.
All right, Bill.
My bad. I still. You know what? I don't know. I don't know.
That's all right.
I don't think you guys are going to put together 2 games like you did last week with some fluke.
Last week, hey, like you said, we caught a Cincinnati team a little distraught.
Yeah.
We brought it with the defense. Our defense was
with
solid.
Ty Higgins.
There was a lot of Stevenson in that game. Yep. He was a pounding bull.
Higgins.
The New England Patriots, for them to win, it's not going to be pretty, folks. It's going to be a hard nose, grind it out, hopefully get turnovers and some special teams type of deal. Mm-hmm. And the games are going to be kind of ugly. And if the Pats win this week 16 to 10.
It's going to be a rough one.
Was that the score last week too? I think it was.
It was the score I said.
I think it'll be a blowout.
13
Seattle, 31 to 10. I was just looking at the score for tonight's game.
He also thought the Dolphins were going to win this game, right?
No, yeah, I'd stay away from this game altogether. I think the Pats, the defense looks good. They take on the personality of their head coach, Strad Mayo, and that's where they're going to go with this. So.
Kind of hard nose and grind.
And it looks like Gino's not picking up that new offense there in Seattle very well. That big passing style offense that came over from college from Washington.
Be a lot tough on the road too.
I think it's going to take some time for that whole system to gel. So I'd give it some time.
Yeah. And the Dolphins look like shit. So we'll move on to the New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. Obviously,
say about this
Jay, your 49ers just made the Jets look like the Jets suck. Do you think, Floody, that the Jets rebound in Tennessee?
Man, that's a real tough call because I looked at Rodgers. He definitely has lost a step or two. He looks a little goofy when he comes running out of there because it's almost like he's running tentative because he doesn't want to pull or something.
Well, he's running on a bad Achilles.
Yeah, right. Well, and I thought the Jets D was going to be a lot better. You guys just picked them apart. You guys found open places in that zone. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Purdy looked great, and some of the other players really looked good. And you did it all without McCaffrey. Tennessee, they just stink too. I hate to say it. I think the Jets get a real ugly win here, too. I think it's an ugly game, to be honest with you. I just pull one out like 17-14 or something like that. But
you know what? I gotta bring up one final point here. You got Malik Willis, who Tennessee just traded to Green Bay,
and now
Jordan Love goes down. He's out for 3 to 6 weeks. Malik Willis is now the starter. Talking about Tennessee,
right?
Is he going to keep Green Bay going, or is Green Bay in trouble?
I think Green Bay's in trouble. The good thing about it is Jordan Love did avoid the IR, and they're hopeful to get him back sooner or later. So
yeah, but it's 3 to 6 weeks, so it's going to be the upper of like probably
last
4.
Last reports saying they're hopeful he plays next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know how bad the injury was. If you're not going on IR to free up a spot, that's telling me something that they're going to keep you there.
Yep.
So they truly believe he could either play in 2 weeks or possibly even next week.
Yeah.
This just in, the Dolphins think that Tua might play in 3 weeks.
But now we're getting back to the Jets Titans. I think looking at it from a fantasy outlook, you got to play both receivers for the Jets because the Titans do give up a lot of passing yards.
Right.
Even though last week they looked better than what they are because Caleb Williams was terrible last week in week 1. Look for Aaron Rodgers to pick this team apart. Big surprise. I think Lazard will have a big game because you know how much Aaron Rodgers loves to go to the guys he trusts. Lazard is probably going to be a guy he's going to go back to. And, of course, Garrett Wilson getting in there.
Yes.
But those are the 2 guys I'd probably play in fantasy. Look at the running backs for the Titans. I think they get back to running the game. Look for Tajay Spears probably getting the game more often than he did last week. Didn't get a huge game script, and the coach wants to rectify that and get him more involved.
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to close out tonight. I'm going to ask both of you because I didn't get a chance to come back and wrap around the whole Tyreek Hill thing. Things changed. Here's my standpoint on that. We played the police video. We played the Tyreek's comments after the game, and we told you. Well, Chris Rock did a PSA on how not to get your ass kicked by the cops. We had to interrupt that because of the injury. Jay, I'm going to come to you first. What did you think of the entire incident with Tyreek Hill?
I think the whole thing, I think Tyreek came out today, even said that there was a lot of things he could have done differently. I think both sides could have handled things a little bit more professionally than what happened. Tyreek, of course, not rolling down his window kind of started the escalation. Yeah. I don't think the cops in that situation helped it any.
Well, in 2 seconds into that video, you hear a cop in the background go, "Oh, it's Tyreek."
So they knew who he was.
They knew who he was.
You knew who he was. You know that everybody's going to be driving by there with a camera. You got to be more.
And that was what Tyreek said. He said, "Everybody's walking by and driving by with a camera. I don't want them to see me."
But in that point, I mean, don't be driving recklessly. Then
Thank
you.
you.
If you don't want to,
really reckless. I mean, I understand you got a lot of people there, but it came out today that the ticket was 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I've been around it's a 35. Yeah.
In a 35.
In a 35. I know.
I mean, hey, that's almost twice the limit.
But that's not worth you getting so upset that you're going to drag his ass out of his car.
No, I agree there.
You know,
I mean, to avoid the whole situation, should have just been going with the flow. Guess what?
Well, he was wrong, but I think the cops were wrong also.
Drive me to the game.
And listen, this is not the person. This just happened with Scotty Scheffler at a golf tournament not that long ago.
Scotty free.
Same situation. So all those old reports that this was a certain kind of bias. I don't believe that.
Nope.
I think Charles Barkley hit it on the nose in his report. He can't stand it. This happened, and the reason it escalated was faults on both parties.
It was. I think both parties involved. The police, because the police they're trained to de-escalate any situation like this. And Tyreek, dude, just chill. Just roll your window down, talk to the cops, and if you really want to roll your window up, just ask the cops. Say, look, can I roll the window up? Look, you know who I am now. Can I roll my window up? And I'll keep it cracked. I just don't want people taking photographs. I mean, but he seemed like he was confrontational from the very beginning, and so I'm gonna lay blame on Tyreek, and I'm gonna lay blame on the cops. I think both sides were wrong.
Yeah.
This didn't have to get blown up, and especially when it came to Calais Campbell showing up on the scene and trying to figure out what's going on with my buddy, my teammate. Yeah. And then the cops getting into Calais. They put Calais Campbell into handcuffs.
Yeah, they put him.
That was just a little bit.
What always say, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, I mean, it just the whole thing could have been completely different. But I'm just going to say one thing. I know that the Dolphins as an organization and his teammates, they're all standing behind him, and the fans are also. But I'm going to say, okay, Tyreek, you were wrong. Miami-Dade, you were wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just it's a wash, and everybody shake hands. And because if you don't,
and don't forget the third part, Dolphins, you suck tonight.
You got to
come on,
mute
man.
Mute.
You got to use this whole thing as a learning situation going forward.
They do.
And hopefully this gets banned out because you got to use this as a learning.
Well, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for the NFL to use this as a learning experience moving forward for people.
Absolutely, they should put their guys through some kind of seminar, let them know, hey, listen, if this does happen to you, this is how we want you to react.
Yeah.
Like they have their rookie expose and telling these rookies how it is, and they should add that in there.
Well, at the rookie orientation, obviously, they have to do that. All right, guys, thanks very much. Appreciate it. We're going to sign off for this week. I'm Brad Michaels, live from Mad Maddie's. This is First and Mad. We will see you next week right here in the same spot, right here on YouTube and Facebook. First and Mad from Mad Maddie's. Saying good night. We'll see you next week.